This is the Big O Show. 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 This is the Big O Show.
When it comes to your smile, confidence is so important. At Moody Dental, they provide the services to get your smile back. This family-run practice prides itself by offering the latest technology to give your family the best experience possible. Moody Dental has been in business for over 30 years with offices in Hialeah and Plantation. They accept most major dental insurances. They provide free new patient exams, 20% off select treatments. To qualify, please follow us on Instagram at moodys.dental. Moody Dental has been in business for over 30 years. To schedule an appointment in Hialeah, call 305-821-0231 and Plantation 954-692-6825. From Invisaligns, dental implants, same-day crowns, and the preventative care and preservation to get your smile back. Go to moodysdental.com to find out more and tell them Big O sent you.
It starts every morning before the sun comes up. Projects are laid out. Plans are made. Equipment is fueled and loaded with inventory to handle all service requests. Orders are given to an army of skilled landscape maintenance professionals, certified arbor trimmers, irrigation technicians, and licensed pest management experts who fan out to communities and businesses all over South Florida. Experienced, on time, and dependable. Our staff is fully trained, licensed, and insured. Contact us by phone, email, social media, or through our website to answer all your landscape questions. We are Cutter's Edge. Total Landscape Solutions.
After 40 years, the Big Cheese Miami is still producing great Italian food. They started in 1984. Since then, they've been winning awards while being voted the best inexpensive Italian restaurant in Miami. Visit them for great food, amazing service. Witness the decades of Cane's memories. The walls are like a Miami Hurricanes Hall of Fame. The Big Cheese delivers anything on its menu or party platter menu to your home, office, or even a park for a picnic. Located at 8080 Southwest 67th Avenue, Miami. Call 305-662-6855. TheBigCheeseMiami.com, where they serve large portions at family prices.
There's just one place to celebrate a happy new model year. Acura of Pembroke Pines. Drive away in a new Integra. Only $299 a month at Acura of Pembroke Pines, the #1 volume Acura dealer.
Set the rhythm of your smart home with Slomin Shield Blink, the new integrated smart home platform that automates your life just the way you want it. Slomin Shield Blink. Be the maestro of your own home.
There's just one place to celebrate a happy new model year. Acura of Pembroke Pines. Drive away in a new ADX. Only $299 a month at Acura of Pembroke Pines, the #1 volume Acura dealer.
Hi, this is Jeff Welt from Welton Rayom. Dan and I have been in business together for over 22 years. We're not your typical lawyers. When Dan's not working in the office, he's flying his stunt plane. When I'm not in the office, I'm either getting tattooed, bowling, riding a motorcycle, or going to concerts. We might not be your typical attorneys, but we are aggressive attorneys, and we'll do whatever it takes to get you what you deserve. Consultations are always free. Call us anytime, 24/7.
Welton Rayom can help.
If you're looking to take your home or business to the next level, then RM Contractors can assist you. RM specializes in new residential turnkey, new commercial turnkey, home and office remodeling. Call them for free estimates. Serving all of South Florida, licensed and insured. Call Ray, 305-345-3649. You work hard to create the perfect atmosphere. You dream it, we'll build it. RM Contractors, 305-345-3649. Or Instagram at RMC Fisher Island.
The viewpoint, statements, or beliefs expressed on the following program by the host, guests, or callers are not necessarily the opinions of FantasyXS.com, Media Group Inc., ownership, management, sponsors, or website.
Welcome aboard, folks. Time to rock and roll on our post-game show. Yes, sir. Powered by our friends at Caneswear. Yes. And many others. Thank you for joining us. The Miami Hurricanes got it done, which is the important part. It wasn't pretty. We were in a 0-0 draw, like some kind of soccer match into the second quarter. And then the defense, we've got to give them credit. They have played well for a few weeks now that they have done their part. The offense hasn't. And we have to, I like living in reality. I don't like lying to myself and all that kind of stuff. That sometimes that's not good as a fan, because then reality hits you and it hits you even worse. This is not a great coaching staff. This is not a great team. They have their flaws, and that's what you saw at the beginning of the game, that a really crappy Syrcuse team is giving you trouble and you can't figure it out. But to Shannon Dawson's credit, he mixed it up, dude. And when you don't have a great offense, which they don't, you've got to find ways. And when you're using a, flea flicker to get the quarterback a touchdown, and when you're getting your offensive lineman a touchdown, I like it. Now, is that going to work? Are gimmicks going to get you through the upper echelon of football? No, of course not. You and I know that. It's going to take winning at the line of scrimmage. It's going to take that you're going to be able to run the ball up the middle against the best teams, which, as of late, we're watching that the Hurricanes have some issues with that. So it is what it is. But at least the good thing is, after the slow start, they took off, and kudos to the defense. I got to give the defense a lot of love. So let's go with the man that covers them on a daily basis, the one and only Manny Navarro, with our Caneswear Miami Hurricanes post-game report.
The viewpoint, statements, or beliefs expressed on the following program by the host, guests, or callers are not necessarily the opinions of FantasyXS.com, Media Group Inc., ownership, management, sponsors, or website. If you're a Miami sports fan, there's only one store to go to, and that's Caneswear at Miami Fanwear in Davie. They're your one-stop shop for all your inner Miami CF, Canes, Dolphins, Panthers, and Marlins merchandise. They have hats, t-shirts, game day jerseys, and so much more. Located at 2655 South University Drive in Davie, and open 24/7 online at caneswear.com or innermiamiwear.com. Call them at 954-835-5597. Caneswear, the spot where inner Miami and all Miami sports fans shop. Time for Canes fans to get what they want. Information, insight, and perspective. It's the Caneswear Miami Hurricanes Report with Manny Navarro. Exclusively on the Big O Radio Show. Here's Big O and insider Manny Navarro.
All right. There he is, the man, the myth, the legend. Manny, how you feeling, baby? You feeling good?
Good, brother. How about yourself?
Good, man. I was just talking about it before you got on. Look, obviously, this is a flawed team, a flawed coaching staff. They're not perfect, okay? So you have your slow start like they did. But they, credit to the defense. They've been playing rock solid for several weeks now. They have really turned it on now, the defense. So they kept them in it the entire time, and then they kind of kick-started the offense for them. But to Shannon Dawson's credit, he mixed it up a little bit. The flea flicker back to Beck for the touchdown, Maui Noah for the touchdown. He mixed things up. Since your offense isn't perfect right now, you're going to have to do some things to kind of alter and kind of, get a little bit more juice out of the fruit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So they're not perfect, but they found a way to kind of overcome their slow start, and they put a team away that they're supposed to put away. May not be pretty, but they got it done.
Yeah, encouraging, I think, really from the play calling perspective, because the first half, you averaged 2 yards a carry. Some of that was sack related because I think Beck was sacked twice in the first half, but and that affects rushing yards in college. But overall, I mean, they averaged 5.3 yards a carry, and I thought Gerard Pringle was sort of a revelation because he's one of those guys. He's at the end of the bench there. He's a freshman. He's a fourth guy behind Marty Brown and Jordan Lyle and a healthy Mark Fletcher. And you saw tonight in a couple instances when he hits the hole, he hits it without hesitation. And I think that's something this offense really needs. Sometimes you got to be patient as a running back. You got to wait for your blockers. I thought Pringle showed something tonight that could be valuable here over the last 3 games because they need an explosive guy. Jordan Lyle was supposed to be that guy. Got hurt early in the season, just has not looked the same running the football since he came back from injury. It's the same story last year, with Ruben Bain. He didn't look like the same player when he came back from injury. He played, but he wasn't the same guy. I thought tonight that was the most encouraging sign. The offense was able to start doing some things with the running game that we hadn't seen in a couple weeks.
I think that Jacoby Thomas kid can play. I'm not exactly sure, but I don't know. Something says, I don't know. He's got a knack for the football, maybe. I don't know. Maybe.
He does, and although somebody used to tell him, "Hey, when you even if you think the ball hit the floor, right, you gotta act like it's an interception."
That's a better acting job. Yeah.
Yes.
We're gonna have to, we're gonna have to put drama in his curriculum. That's what we're gonna have to do now. That's what Mara's gonna do. Listen, we're gonna send you over to the drama classes over there a little bit. You need to learn how to act a little bit better there. Yeah, but they got away with it because there wasn't an angle to really,
make the change on the call, to overturn it,
Oh,
Well, listen, 6 sacks by this defense, 7 sacks by this defense. Actually, now that I look at the final number, I think they came in with 17 through their first 8 games. Obviously, a lot of this has to do with Syrcuse not being very good up front. They were missing guys that were starters on their offensive line. But look, Ruben Bain got a sack. He's only had 2 the whole season up until tonight. So I think it was just an encouraging sign from a defensive perspective. Jacoby Thomas was really good. I thought Akeem Mesidor played out of his mind. I mean, he 3.5 tackles for loss, 1.5 sacks, forced fumble. That forced fumble was huge right before the half, by the way.
Big time. What happened before the half was that swung everything in their favor. The defense, to me, is the one that kept them in the game and kick-started their offense. Period.
They need it, period. They need these guys to sort of lead because it's obvious that the offense just doesn't have enough, I think, to really carry you, right? They certainly didn't have enough last week against SMU. Against Louisville, you had the interception problems. Ever since they took their foot off the gas at Florida State, it just feels like they've been trying really hard to get some momentum going and just haven't been able to string it. They did it for the second half against Stanford. They did it really tonight in the second half for periods with the running game against Syrcuse. But again, I just like the fact that we saw something more than A-gap runs from Miami tonight. You saw creativity. You saw the direct snap to Malachi Tony. You saw guys running end around, going outside. the no hesitation there from Pringle. Those are encouraging signs that, hey, maybe there's something more here as the season goes on. And we talked about it before. Oh, these guys are going to need help to get into the playoff. So they're not going to be able to do this on their own. But they went out. They put themselves in position to do that.
And by the way, if Malachi is injured, and I went over to the broadcast and I heard Darryl talking about it. Josh Darryl was on the sidelines and he was talking about how he tried walking around and he was gingerly walking around and it looked like he was in kind of pain or discomfort, and he went back to sit down. So if I know they're not going to really tell you anything right now, and they'll keep it as much under wraps, but that's huge, dude. I understand you've got two easy opponents, but the Pittsburgh game is going to be easy, and they need a guy like Malachi Tony, man. I mean, he's such a difference maker.
They absolutely do. Oh, and next week against NC State, you're going to need offense. That team can score points, so that's maybe why we saw some out of Pringle, because he's that kind of an explosive player that can give you a little extra in the running game, and you can put him out wide. I'm sure he can catch passes as well. But yeah, I mean, listen, they're hurting at receivers right now. I don't know how long CJ Daniels is going to be out. But they could use him. Certainly Tony Johnson was beginning to show some flashes before he went out with injury. So we'll see whether or not Malachi will be able to suit up next week. But
and Butterfingers Trader hasn't looked as good there. What's up with Butterfingers Trader?
Need to get him some new gloves or something, man. I don't know what else to say other than got to hold on to the football. But look, Carson Beck in general just does not look comfortable. Doesn't look to me like he didn't play that bad last week. I know he had the interception late and all that. And again, he didn't play bad, and he had a couple of drops again today. Right. I can't blame it on him the last couple of weeks, actually. You know what I'm saying? Right. I just don't think the offense in general, again, since that fourth quarter at Florida State,
totally agree.
It's like they'll have many flashes, right? But no consistency whatsoever.
Yeah, no, I totally agree that there's a discombobulation of the offense, but I will give Dawson some credit, knowing that your offense can't just run on people like it wants to and all those kind of things. At least you got other elements involved and you found other ways to create offense. I hate that you had to waste it on Syrcuse because, you got slightly tough games down the line, but you got to get it done. You got to get it done. And so I give Dawson credit for that. Today it was better coaching today overall.
It was. And ultimately they're going to need to be that way. They're not good enough to win without coaching. They're just not. Talent-wise, they're not. There's one Malachi Tony. There's a little bit of Gerard Pringle. All right, but there's just not guys that are going to take the game over on this offense. And receiver was the number one concern coming in. Imagine where they would be without Malachi Tony. I mean, it would have been much worse than it's been to this point. So it's nothing that should surprise you if you follow this program. That receiver was an area of concern after everybody they lost last year. So Malachi Tony has helped erase some of those problems. But tonight, even you look at his numbers, he had 2 catches for 12 yards. He did it in the running game.
He did,
really. I'm looking at his numbers: 3 carries for 14 yards.
Right.
So,
and Tony is a guy that when I look at him, it reminds me of Achan, like two teams that they don't have a lot of offense, and then they rely on a young, explosive, not a big player. And you're using him a lot, and today you saw him break. I think about the same thing with Achan on Sundays, because he's like the only he's like the difference maker on offense. You know what I mean? Like he's the guy that changes the game constantly for them in the field and all that shit, and it's amazing. And they use him, and and the same thing here with Malachi. And I just worry about that because you've got to have more weapons, man. You can't just milk the one kid, and now we have this issue.
Well, Keelan Marion has a lot of speed. You saw it on the 61-yard touchdown. He's an elite punt returner, kick return type guy. You can use him. You can certainly. Marty Brown is a tough guy, tough runner, physical guy. He's not going to go off and explode for a 50-yarder, but he can get you. He can break tackles. You got Pringle now, who's sort of, to me, he's more like, I think of him as A-Chain, actually, a little bit more, just because he's a running back and can catch the ball and explode. So you have guys that can do stuff. Hopefully that gets you past NC State next week if Malachi Tony can't go. But they need CJ Daniels back in a bad way, for sure.
Yeah. And we'll see what happens now with Malachi, because they've got a bunch of injuries. And, and listen, we all know that this season's kind of almost done, because you've got to keep pace and then pray a bunch of people help you out. So it's kind of tough. And I guess it's tough for fans to stay focused on what's going on, because they're not playing for a lot. But, man, if they don't take care of these games, they definitely won't be in position to get lucky. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So,
and
by the way, even if they don't get to a bowl game, to the ACC championship game or the playoffs, they still have to start winning bowl games. They still don't games. You know what I'm saying?
You got to start proving that you're not just fading down the back nine every single time. Like you can't just be that program that always shits the bed in December and January. Like you have to do something more. So I agree with you. Although we'll see who actually ends up playing in that bowl game and how many young guys in it. I like the young guys playing today. You got some contributions out of the freshmen. I mentioned Pringle earlier, but Dalen Upshaw had a 41-yard catch and run, and you're like, hey, who's that? Who's Dalen Upshaw? I know him because of recruiting, but again, a guy that maybe you start throwing to these guys that haven't caught a pass all year, and they do something for you.
I'm with you there. All right, what do you got going on in the Athletic? Because I'm sure the Malachi Tony information is going to be top of the line for you to try to find out what the hell's going on with the kid.
Yeah, well, we'll have plenty of college football coverage. There were so many great games today. I don't know if you saw that Iowa had a chance there to beat Oregon, gave up the field goal late, and now Vanderbilt was basically losing the whole game to Zombie Auburn because they don't have a head coach. That's why I call them Zombie Auburn. They were losing, and now Vanderbilt's come back. So there's a lot of big games with college football playoff implications, and we'll have plenty of coverage there for everybody.
All right. Follow him on Twitter at Manny_Navarro. Manny, as always, thank you, my brother. We will catch up during the week.
All right, man. Take care.
You got it.
Welcome to Caneswear.
New store, new items, same great experience. Family owned and operated since 2010, Caneswear has the latest merchandise from the Miami Hurricanes, Miami Dolphins, Florida Panthers, Inter Miami CF, and more. Come visit us at our store in Davie on University Drive, just south of 595, or online at caneswear.com. Caneswear, the spot Miami fans shop.
All right. And we thank, of course, Brett and all the great people at Caneswear. Don't forget, you can use our code BIG010. You will get 10% off there at Caneswear, and go online. If you order over $99, you will get free shipping. So in person or online, you will get 10% off anything and everything, like this hat from Caneswear, any of the hats that I wear from Caneswear, and Miami Heat, Miami Dolphins, Inter Miami, Marlins, they've got it all there at Caneswear. So get on down there, 2655 South University Drive in Davie. Go see Brett and Jeff and Jack and all the great guys out there, man. They know how to get it done. They are absolutely amazing people at Caneswear. All right. And, let's dish out our awards, because one award that we've got to dish out is the Slomin's key decision of the game. And a guy that's been under a lot of heat is Shannon Dawson, the offensive coordinator for the Miami Hurricanes. And, oh, man, all they could do is run up the middle. Well, they kind of changed it up today. They their offense was kind of sputtering early on, and then you started with the flea flicker, getting Carson Beck the touchdown, getting Maui the touchdown. The big play by Keelan Marion for 61 yards. That was awesome. It was nice to see them mix it up, man. So
what was the deciding moment? Who made the right move? Where did the game change? It's the Slomin's key decision of the game. Make the smart decision to protect your home and family by calling Slomin's at 1-800-ALARM-ME. Serving Americans for nearly 100 years. Here's our Slomin's key decision of the game.
Shannon Dawson, changing it up. And I love what he did today. You can't live on gimmicks, okay? You can only get away with that stuff every once in a while. So, it's not something that you can lean on. But I give credit to the defense, giving it a spark with the turnovers. And obviously the pick six helps out. But they, with field position changing, and then Dawson mixing things up, a little bit in the running game, mixing it up with different guys scoring touchdowns. I like that. I like that because you're in a funk. And what you do here is you create options for yourself and you create some confidence for your guys that they can do other things. And by the way, credit to the coach, finding other skills that they can use their players with. That's the other thing. So I got to give Shannon Dawson a lot of credit for our Slomin's key decision of the game, which, by the way, your key decision, we're in 49 states. Slomin's in 49 states, okay? So call them, 1-800-ALARM-ME and ShieldLink right now. Oh, my God. From one intuitive app, you can control the lights, the climate, the door locks, the music, the blinds, the TV, just about anything. I can turn on the AC. I can turn off the AC. I can turn it on my way home. If it was a hot day and I want to start cooling down the house, by the time I get there, turn on the AC. If you have dogs at home, it's been kind of a hot day. You want to make sure the temperature's a little cooler for the dogs. We do that all the time. You have cameras inside and outside. You can keep up with everything. It's a beautiful thing. People are delivering something or selling something. They knock on your door. You can look at the camera right there from your app, and you don't have to answer the door if it's somebody you don't need. And that way you don't waste your time going to the door. Just let them knock, ring the doorbell, they'll walk away, and you're done. That's what you love about ShieldLink, and it's so smart. It's a great decision. It's a key decision. So I got to give Shannon Dawson, our Slomin's key decision of the game.
Our key decision of the game is brought to you by Slomin's Home Shield. When you want to protect your home, family, or business, call Slomin's at 1-800-ALARM-ME.
All right. Remember, you can make a donation to the show, Cash App or Venmo at Cash Big O Show. That is Cash Big O Show. Cash App or Venmo. You can make a Bitcoin, Ethereum, Chainlink, or Solana donation. Of course, you can always send in your questions, comments, and insults, which, that can happen every once in a while. It's kind of the way it goes. The ACC scoreboard, I can give you that. And again, what you needed to lose did not happen, unfortunately. So that's the sad part about, the news so far. North Carolina, by the way, looking for their second ACC win. They are leading Stanford 20-9 right now, 6:57 left in the fourth quarter. Virginia, they are leading Wake Forest 3-0. Virginia is one of those teams. They're ranked 14th and they're 5-0 in the ACC. Louisville, obviously, they're 7-1, 4-1 in the ACC. They're leading California early on, 7-0. So a lot of game left. Clemson leading Florida State 8-0 early on in the first quarter. The other finals, SMU, which you would love for them to lose. They didn't. They killed Boston College 45-13. They're 7-3, 5-1, overall. So unfortunately, and UConn over Duke 37-34. So, and the sad part is, the pathetic part is that we're talking about it needing help. And that's where, Mario Cristobal failed this year. He's a failure this year. Unfortunately, unless he gets lucky and he gets to back into the ACC championship game, win it, and get into the playoffs, that's the only way that you get a chance to justify your season. But you're going to need luck, and you're going to have to backdoor it. And that's kind of sad. And that's the sad part, that we've got to watch other people lose, and that is why you're a loser, unfortunately. And that's the part that sucks. Okay. Now, one thing that I will tell you is there's always a difference maker in the game. All right. And when you can find that difference maker, the Cutter's Edge Pro difference maker of the game, you name it.
Who brought the edge? Who changed the game? Who is our Cutter's Edge Pro difference maker?
When you want to give your home or business the edge, call Cutter's Edge Pro in South Florida for all your landscape solutions.
Here's our Cutter'sEdgePro.com difference maker.
It's kind of easy, right? It's extremely easy to talk about who's our Cutter's Edge Pro difference maker of the game. Jacoby Thomas. I mean, it is absolutely ridiculous, the game that Jacoby Thomas had. He had a fumble recovery, he had a sack, and he had an interception. Yes, he needs better acting. I completely agree. It's a great point that Manny put out there. He does need some acting classes, but Jacoby Thomas was 5 tackles, all solo, by the way. The sack, of course, the fumble recovery, the interception. When we talk about difference makers, yeah, Cutter's Edge Pro. They've been landscaping here in South Florida for 20 years. Dade, Broward, Palm Beach counties, they got over 70 trucks. They've covered it all. They've done it all. Well, Jacoby Thomas has covered it all and done it all for the Miami defense. I got to give him mad props because just like our friends at Cutter's Edge Pro, he was the difference maker tonight, man. Nobody did it better than Jacoby Thomas.
The MVP of the night is brought to you by Moody Dental.
From Invisaligns, dental implants, same-day crowns, and the preventative care.
The Cutter's Edge Pro difference maker is brought to you by
Cutter'sEdgePro.com, servicing HOAs, condominiums, townhomes, commercial properties, corporate parks, malls throughout South Florida. Cutter'sEdgePro.com, providing South Floridians the edge every day of the year.
Sorry about that, but that's what happens when you're running it by yourself. That you zig when you were supposed to zag, and that's unfortunate what happens there. All right, let's see what we got. Don't forget to smash the hell out of the like button. We've only got a few likes there. Hit them up, man. Let's go. Man of 1,005 holds. Thank you, sir. He says Canes play like that every week, please. Thanks. It's a bad team they played, and I'm just glad. Look, man, like I told you guys at the start of this, my expectations have been lowered a lot for the Miami Hurricanes. I don't look at this as a great staff. I don't look at this as a great team. So I know there are going to be problems. I know they're going to have their issues, even against crappy teams. And there you go. Today, it was like a slow start. We're sitting there looking at each other going, how is this game still, 0-0 into the second quarter? Made no sense. No sense whatsoever. And then they finally got it going and they figured it out and they're better and they've got the better talent and they played that way. You know what I'm saying? So I got to give them credit, but it's tough. It really is. I see Oscar Rojas, Daniel Berry, Jermaine, Carson Beck isn't good. I would be shocked if he's even drafted. Yeah, if anything, dude, they take him late in the draft. Something like that. Tyon, who the hell is really calling plays on the offense? You know what, Tyon, at least they got something done today, bro. I don't have high standards. You know what I'm saying? I just don't. Think Blue Dodgers. Thank you for checking in, my brother. I appreciate you as always. Jeff in Long Island. Joseph, mildly decent win, yet a win nonetheless. I love it, Joseph. I love people that live in reality. That's it. That's all. Yeah, you're glad you won. Glad that they figured it out. Don't like that it took so long. Okay, but they got it done. I'm good. Let's see. Here we are in year 4 of the Mario era. Not sure where the 5-0. Yeah, we're not progressing enough. Let's just put it that way with Mario. And it seems like they're leveling off, is what it feels like, unfortunately. Big O, let's hope Inter doesn't shit the bed tonight. I'm with you, my brother. I am with you. Sweet Baby Ray, nice win, but maybe a little too late for the ACC title. Yeah, no, Sweet Baby Ray, here's the thing, my brother. There's no guarantee that they're going to run the table for the rest of the games. And I think they should win against NC State, but even Manny, you heard it in his voice, hey, NC State can score points, and he's kind of concerned. I think you should win, but the Pitt game makes me a little nervous. So it's not – there's no doubt that it's too late already, but you got to think about this. We don't even know if they can finish by running the table of what they have left. And unfortunately, because of the way the team and the coaching staff is, you and I know brain farts are very possible. So yeah, it's just sad that year 4 – and you would expect better progress in a shitty conference, and we don't have it. And that's the part that hurts as a Canes fan, that we're in year 4 and we just don't have that. You know what I mean? Big O, the gimmicks today on offense is what I was expecting against Louisville coming off their second bye week. Man, find a way to win the game. But what I didn't like in Louisville is that they got outmatched. That's what I didn't like. That's what I didn't like. Ray, thank you, sir, for the love on Venmo. He says, great second half, should play like this for the remainder of the game. Need discipline of the penalties. Yes. And that is something that's been a problem for the Miami Hurricanes when it comes to and isn't it weird that Mario Cristobal's teams have problems with discipline? How does that make any sense? How is it that you have problems with discipline? That's crazy. That is absolutely nuts. Now, let's figure out who is our Moody Dental MVP of the night.
Who's last night's MVP? There's only one MVP for your family's dental care.
Moody Dental. Get your smile back at Moody Dental. Visit them on Instagram at moody.dental.
Here's our Moody Dental MVP of the night.
Defense, baby. There's no better defense for your teeth than, of course, Moody Dental. So if you're looking for Invisaligns, if you need any kind of cosmetic surgery, preventive care, dental implants, call my friends at Moody Dental in Dade and in Broward County. But a defense that produced 7 sacks, 11 tackles for losses, okay? An interception, a fumble recovery. I mean, and by the way, a pick 6 on top of all of that. Limited a team to 10 points, where they got that touchdown in garbage time in the back end. I mean, I don't know what a better example. And by the way, they started the offensive scoring with the pick 6 and the change of defense, the change of field on the interception that they gave the offense a short field. Everything was led by the defense today. And kudos to them. Even the week before, the defense has been doing their part. The offense, as we know, has been a real problem, over on today. They started really, really slow. And if it wasn't for that defense coming to play from the get-go, and they did what they were supposed to do against a shitty team and a shitty offense, they shut them down. So in Dade County, reach out to our friends at Moody Dental, 305-821-0231, in Plantation, 954-692-6825. Moody Dental. And there's no doubt that defense was our MVP of the night.
The MVP of the night is brought to you by Moody Dental.
From Invisaligns, dental implants, same-day crowns, and the preventative care and preservation to get your smile back, they accept most major dental insurances. They provide free new patient exams. To schedule an appointment in Dade, call 305-821-0231. In Broward, 954-692-6825. Follow them on Instagram at moody.dental, providing MVP smiles every day of the year.
Again, folks, you can reach out in Dade and Broward and follow them on Instagram at moodius.dental. And you can find out and take advantage of some of their deals also going on. But state-of-the-art equipment, so they even can make your crown right there and then. You don't come back a week or 2 weeks or 3 weeks later and they got to send it out. No, they make it right there in the back. The digital imprint takes the measurements and prints it out in the back. It's crazy. It's crazy stuff, dude. Anyways, good stuff. And they save you a lot of time. So our entire family goes there, and we thank the folks at Moody's Dental. By the way, Ken Dorsey, congratulations in the Ring of Honor. Okay, now the real question for you guys as Canes fans, did you celebrate the induction of Ken Dorsey into the Ring of Honor by smashing a tablet or laptop? Because really, if you didn't do that, you're not really a Ken Dorsey fan. So if you want to celebrate Ken Dorsey's induction into the Ring of Honor today, make sure you smash a tablet or laptop in his honor. Okay? That's really the only way to do things. By the way, tonight around in South Florida, the Panthers are visiting San Jose. 10 o'clock, their face-off for the Sharks. 8 o'clock, we've got Inter Miami taking on Nashville, so we've got a few minutes, and the series is tied at 1 game apiece. Winner take all. Luis Suarez has been suspended for the scumbaggery that he constantly is involved in. And just underway in Carolina, it's the Fort Lauderdale United visiting Carolina Ascent. And let me see, do I have a score for that one? That's the question, because since that one's going on, I can actually give you a score for that one. Let's see. What do we have? 0-0 right now. Okay. We are in the 34th minute, and we are 0-0. Fort Lauderdale United and Carolina Ascent. All right, what else do we have? Big O, I really hope Jason Taylor gets a head coaching job somewhere, maybe move up to the NFL. He really deserves it since he's been there with the defensive line. So what makes you think that he's going to become a great head coach? You know what's funny? Because I've been hearing people talk about it or write about it. And I was laughing, like at QAM, I was laughing at somebody. Well, you know, they should ask Zach Thomas or Jason Taylor or Dan Marino if they want to do the job. Most great players suck at this. Most of them suck at being head coaches also, Oscar. By the way, Tom Brady is the GOAT, isn't he? I think he's the GOAT, right? Second year with the Raiders. Pete Carroll, Geno Smith, leading the league in interceptions, and Ashton Genty. Second year with the Raiders. I mean, he's the GOAT. You got to stop with that, man. You all have to stop with that. Just because the person's a great player doesn't necessarily mean they're going to be a great head coach or a great general manager or a great team president. In fact, most of them fail. And then all you do is, as fans, you want them in that position. And then when they fail, all you do is then ridicule them on the way out. And then it's John Elway. Yeah, he won a Super Bowl and everything, but man, he couldn't find a quarterback. And is that fair to John Elway when he won 2 titles as a player, won 1 as an executive, and yet he still and he was criticized and kicked out the door because he couldn't find a quarterback? Because he had to settle for Peyton Manning, which that doesn't take a lot of brains to sign Peyton Manning. As long as the neck was fused right and everything, then you were off and running. You were going to try to take a chance at Peyton Manning. We tried to bring him here, right? So that doesn't take a rocket scientist to sign Peyton Manning. John Elway couldn't find a quarterback. Tom Brady decided that Geno Smith was the answer. Ashton Genty was his first-round pick, and that old man Pete Carroll should be brought back. That's Tom Brady. Be careful what you ask for. Okay? Good thing for Tom Brady is he can screw up everything with the Raiders, and it won't affect anything with the Patriots or the Bucks, because he'll be God in those places. So be careful what you ask for. Let things develop. Let them prove that they're worthy of becoming head coaches, worthy of becoming general managers, worthy of becoming team presidents. If they're sitting on the sidelines not doing it whatsoever, what makes you think that they're going to go from not doing it whatsoever to actually becoming really good at it? Oh, I'm sorry, because they were a great player? Sure, Michael Jordan. Yeah, he's a really great executive. Yeah, great start for Tom Brady. Fantastic start for Tom Brady. Wow, he is he's a revelation, actually. Revelation. Yeah. So there you go. I'm just be careful with that stuff. May not end up working out. All right, folks. Selfishly, we're going to end this one short. Why? Because Inter Miami is going to play a very important playoff game, and I want to watch. I'm a South Florida fan, and then after that, I get to watch the Panthers. So, perfect night of football, and I got to finish packing to go to Spain on Tuesday. So, my plan is to be completely packed by tonight. So that way, and I leave on Tuesday, but I want to be packed. So that way I'm just like set with everything. But congratulations to the Canes. Slow start, 38-10. They found a way to get it done. It is what it is. They improved to 6-2. Enjoy it out there, ladies and gentlemen. We'll see you tomorrow morning at 11:30 as we get you ready for the Miami Dolphins and the slaughter against the Bills. See you tomorrow.
This is the Big O Show. This is the Big O Show.